Hi, Connie.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel, All Things Hallmark.
All things Hallmark. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Can I just say, I had a really rough week, emotionally drained. Got sad during the week. There was so much emotional stuff that happened in this week. I could not wait for a Hallmark movie. I couldn't wait to put the remote in my hand and to get all in the bed and push those pillows back and get into it. And I will say, since I was a little emotional, I did eat it with ice cream. I didn't eat it with ice cream. I washed it with ice cream. I made sure, yeah, this was one of those days. And so I'm glad that on those days that you like, I don't know, my life, I could turn to Hallmark and feel comforted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I actually it was a pretty good week for me. I went from last week with the visiting babysitting week. And so this weekend, I actually had the youngest granddaughter. She actually spent the night for the first time without her parents. And so she was such a good baby. And she did lay there and let me watch my Hallmark movie. So, yeah, definitely a good baby. So, yeah, I'm sorry your week wasn't all that great, but I know that Hallmark movie and that ice cream did it for you.
It definitely did. It definitely did.
Wow. Yeah, this was a good movie. I remember as we were waiting for the movie to come, I kept telling you the advertising for this movie was different. And so I really was expecting something different, but they even went further than what I was expecting because, the way they were advertising this particular movie piqued my interest because it was just a little different. So, if they're advertising different, there's got to be something different about this movie. And they really brought it home.
So let's get into it. So the name of this movie is
Bottled with Love.
Bottled of Love. And I will say, when I heard it, I was like, the first thing I thought was what probably other viewers my age thought, is this going to be like Message in the Bottle? Do you remember that movie? Right, Stephen Michael. Oh, I can't think of the author's name, but he's a famous book writer, and he, has written a lot of books that has to do with romance. But I am so glad that that wasn't, you go into it kind of wondering, is it going to have the same storyline? It didn't have the same storyline. When I say this is a good movie, oh, it just touched me in all the right places. It made me hopeful. It made me, oh, love. It was really good.
Do you ever watch the movie and get the inkling that you want to go do what they did, like go put your message in a bottle and cast it into the ocean? Because
Yes.
I'm happily married. Next year will be 40 years. Woo-woo.
Woo woo.
And, yeah. But it still made me want to put my heart on some paper and throw it in the water, So definitely enjoyed the movie also. And like you said, even though the title did get some impression that it might be a duplicate, as they say, but definitely wasn't. And one of the things that intrigued me about this particular movie was the actress that was in it. I loved her in one of the Christmas movies that Hallmark did when, she was the single parent, kind of deadbeat dad, and the dad wanted to, he was always interfering with the children and whatever. And she was doing the best that she could. And I really loved her in that Christmas movie. And so when I saw her in this movie, I got a little excited and I really wanted to see what she was going to do with this type of part. And so, yeah, it was great.
I remember that movie. I remember her being in, I think, Royal Matchmaker, and I have enjoyed her in all of her movies. But this one, absolutely. This one was the one that she went to a new level in my heart with this movie. So there were so many life messages, but really, this is a romance.
Yeah.
Absolutely, hands down. There's life lessons we're going to get into, Connie, but for me, I watched it for its romance. I love the fact that, so we have Abby and we have Nick. And Abby was in a serious relationship, sounds like, or in a relationship, and she was on her way to attend a wedding when she got dumped. And so her and her auntie are at this wedding. There's nothing like that in the world, to be a guest surrounded by all this beautiful love, and you're single. And with her, not just single, but single and just freshly being broken up with. So that was crushing. And she still managed to, so my life lesson with that is she managed to put her feelings in its place and still attend her friend's celebration and still enjoy the celebration with all of her heart with them. So that's a big lesson. Sometimes you just got to put on your big girl pants and put your smile on and go for it. And so she did that, and she didn't, I don't believe anybody knew except that beautiful auntie of hers.
Yes, wasn't she amazing? You know, again, that boy broke up with her via text at the wedding. You know, we RSVP'd for 2, well, actually for 3 to include the aunt. And then you gonna send a text message. I'm just saying. But I just love, you know, again, being a life coach, watching that auntie was, you know, something special to me. You know, she wasn't gonna let her niece stay in the dumps, not for a moment. She like, wait a minute, hold on a minute, you know. And then she grabs the bottle and pours stuff out of the bottle, you know, and just proceeds to help her her niece find her truth. And yeah, I just really thought it was amazing how she just stepped up. You know, that we're at this wedding. I want to say the aunt had just gotten off the dance floor. She was enjoying herself, but not so much that she couldn't take a moment to help her niece, to make sure that her niece didn't fall in a pit and stay there. So I thought that was pretty amazing to me. And then just, you know, the information that she asked them to put on there. So.
Now, I would say that's another life moment. Sometimes everything's not always about us. And so it would bring your own heart happiness if you would take the time. And I think we heard something like that within the hour, today, about, you know, being friendly to other people and being encouraging to other people and having compassion. How would you want somebody to treat you in that moment when you're going through something? So that was really, that to me was a life lesson, that she's enjoying herself on this dance floor. Yes, she still went back to be encouraging. And I don't care about giving away too much information. Tell all of our All Thing Hallmark viewers exactly what the auntie did, because that was all the lessons, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. Please, they gotta know. Tell them, Connie.
Yeah, so the auntie told her, she gave her a piece of paper. Well, actually, she asked her for a piece of paper because the girl had brought some work to the wedding. I wouldn't know what that was about. But the auntie told her to take that paper and just to basically bare her heart, you know. She said, I don't care who you write it to. And she gave an example of writing the letter to the love of her life. And that's what she decided to do, to write this letter introducing herself, telling this unknown person, the love of her life, who she was and the things that she enjoyed. And, you know, and so she talked about some very, you know, from liking pancakes all the way to being just a very honest person. And so, you know, she shares a incident where I think she had stolen something or taken something by mistake. Either way, she said that thing kept her up all night. You know, she wanted him to know that I have integrity. She wanted him to know that she was willing to take risk and all of these things. And yeah, she put it in this letter. Her aunt told her to put it in the letter, stick the letter inside the bottle, seal it up, and just cast it into the river. And that's what she did. And so in addition to that, Suzanne, what I really liked was how she wasn't a know-it-all. And she didn't desire, come on, some of us desire to go into our pity parties. And so we go and we stay there for as long as we want to stay there. But it was like she really did not want to go into the pity party, because even though, you know, she kind of like, you know, but she did it like right then and there. She sat down, and if you remember, she started writing, and I don't know, Suzanne, maybe she was going to put her mask on paper. And then she said, like, wait a minute, and she just began to write again. And it was great, you know? And so I like the fact that she was open to what her aunt said. You know, in this generation that we live in now, you know, folks, they don't listen, you know, and they're not willing to try the new thing or the different thing or whatever the case is. But honey, I'm telling you, that girl took her aunt's advice. She respected her aunt so much so that she did it right away. And oh my goodness. And then the movie just continues to go on. So one of the things, Suzanne, that I noticed in the movie too, if you remember that scene where he talks about he just wanted his dad to be proud of him.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at that, and I learned years ago that men are broken also. I remember being, and I'm going to be transparent here, I remember being on top of this mountain in Okinawa, Japan. It's really when I got my breakthrough, Suzanne, and in becoming my best self. And I was in this group of people, probably about 20 of us. And of the 20, men and women equally, of the 20, one person said they had never been molested or sexually mistreated or whatever. And that included men and women. And I almost opt to say that person was too, just really wasn't ready to deal with their truth. But, I learned from that moment that men go through it, and maybe I knew it subconsciously, but it was like in my face. And so on that particular day, and in this movie, a lot of times in the movie, we see the female's part of it. We hear the female's part about it in a lot of the movies, and not so much the man's part. But when he was just talking about, I just want my dad to be proud of me, or whatever the case is, I just thought that was amazing to say, men, you can still be a man and deal with your truth. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed that part of the movie as well. It was just a small part, but I still, I just want Hallmark to know I took note of it, and I enjoyed that part.
It's definitely one of those things. She was very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he was vulnerable because they were both open. And so then that would be my, I guess, third life lesson. Sometimes you have to be vulnerable. Sometimes you have to be transparent. She was hurting. She was sad, but she still managed to be able to say, and I think she addressed it to love. But I know at the end she said, "Love, come find me." At the end of her letter, she said, "Love, come find me." And so being vulnerable, yeah, it doesn't always feel comfortable, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. And let me make you laugh. So after she wrote that, and you're pondering, I don't know about you, when I'm watching the movie, sometimes a scene will stick with me, even though the movie has begun again. And I said to myself, did she give him the address? Did she give him any clue? This is a piece of paper in a bottle going out into the ocean, can end up anywhere. What clue did she give him of where she was, talking about come find me? So I got a little tickled about that, like, yeah, where you at? But it's just amazing how and I don't want to give that part of the movie away, but it's just amazing how they find each other. It's just, I like the part, Suzanne, you remember the part where, because remember his sister called him, and again, okay, let me back up. I'm getting excited about this movie again. But that relationship between the brother and the sister, did you see that? He really had kind of gone off on his own and wanted to do his own thing, and he was going to be there for his sister's wedding. And she said, "I just want you to come a little earlier. Dad's going to call you, and I want you to tell him yes." And just his love for his sister made him set aside his own, whatever he was going through, his own baggage, his own disappointments, his own whatever he was feeling. But for his sister, he put it aside. And not, some of us will put it aside and say, "Girl, I'm going to be at your wedding. Don't ask me to do nothing else. I'm going to be at the wedding." But he said, okay, and he was coming back. And so he had just found the bottle, if you remember, and he sat it up on that shelf, and he went outside the door. The bottle falls into his suitcase. So he really doesn't even have any intentions of bringing it with him. He didn't throw it away, but he didn't have any intentions of bringing it with him. But somehow God will make a way out of no way, And so the bottle falls into the suitcase, and of course he probably just threw stuff on top of clothes, and he went on about his business. And then he finds it when he gets to his home in I believe Boston. And, so I just thought that was really neat, and that was one of my takeaways, and the fact that what's for you is for you, and that relationship too with the sister and how he was with that. Because Suzanne, that used to be old school. You know, generations used to always get together. Sunday dinner was at Big Mama's house, and always coming together. Now we don't even eat at the family table too much. I got a 5-year-old here in the house with me, and so we eat at the table. But for years, before she came to live with us, my sons and I, when we were still in the house, probably in their teenage years, shame on me, but we didn't do the family dinner thing at the table, which used to be the place where everybody did discussions and found out about their day and found out about life that was going on with each of us. And so, yeah, I really was impressed with them writing in that relationship that the sister had with her brother. And the brother.
Yeah, that was definitely, it was notable and noteworthy, and it makes you aspire. So then here's my next life lesson. If you have siblings, have a good relationship with them. Put your grudges behind, put misunderstandings behind. Family relationships and family dynamics are just a beautiful thing. So make yours strong, make yours good. So you don't have to envy somebody else's if you put that same effort into your own siblings. So to all my siblings out there, hey, call your sister. My ex is hurt, not been in pain, call and check on me, and I'll call and check on you.
I had a wonderful week. My sister celebrated her 40th, so as you can tell, we got married 1 year apart. Yeah, I got a chance to keep my niece, and so I can say there's 4 of us, and 3 of us are really close. You have that other one that's a little different from everybody else, and so and she's nowhere near a bad sister. It's just that she's not as connected all the time as the others are. And so, but there's 4 of us, and I love being a big sister. So I'm like Suzanne, whatever it is, put it aside and embrace your family, and know that there's so many good things that come out of being a family. And one of the things that came out of him being a good big brother, a loving big brother, was he found the love of his life.
Love of his life.
Yes. Yeah, so God, look, the Lord only knows what's at the end of our embracing our siblings, and so it makes you want to kind of step out there. But I love their adventure. There was adventure to this love story as well. So what did you think about the gloves?
I thought that was so romantic and so cute. So, so they've been in the same town because that's what happened. This bottle has brought them together. Oh, did I mention write the vision? Because I feel like that was another casting your vision moment, taking the time to actually know what you want and saying what you want. And when you put it out there, it'll come to you. I believe that. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. So here he is. He's traveled. He's not only in the same city, but he's very near to her. So I'll leave that part to be the mystery of this movie. And so they began a relationship, and not knowing that they know each other from this secret chatting. So they don't continue to, chat. They continue to chat by text messages and email. So, or not text messages, by emails only. And so that was really, really cool. She leaves her email. That's what she does. She leaves her email. He and her correspond. So now they're about to meet up for the very first time. And so her whole attire was traditional. It was a vintage look that went back to the era where people did put their message in the bottle. So she had these beautiful little lace gloves on it. Apparently that must have been a detail that she shared with him. So when he saw Abby walk out with those gloves, and he looked at the stationery that he was holding, he recognized, oh my goodness, it matches the stationery that is in the bottle. And
yeah, she tells them, because they're going to meet up and they don't know each other. So she basically said, I'll be the one with the white gloves on. So yeah, so I loved, that they were attentive. They kind of matched the era of the bottle and the note to her clothing, and so that was pretty neat too.
And romantic.
Yeah.
So romantic.
Absolutely. And so just this couple is just amazing, the things that they did. They encouraged each other along the way. And did you notice that when one was weak, the other was strong, and when one was strong, the other one, needed a little pull, and they were willing to do that. Now, I don't know that they necessarily knew that that was what they were doing, so to speak. Of course, it's a written script. We know they knew it, but but that's what they were doing. Whenever one of them got weak, the other one stepped up. And can I tell you that is like the best love right there? That whenever the one is weak, the other one steps up. And so that was one of the things that I noticed. You don't always have to be the one that's right. You don't always have to be the one that's strong. When you're weak, I'll be strong. And so I really like that part as I was following the movie and whatnot, how they just strengthen each other. The Bible calls it iron sharpening iron, and I love that. Two is better than one. And so, yeah, that I really like that. And so I also like the scene, one of the scenes toward the end where they go to look at that one company. I don't even remember the name of it. I apologize, but
it was a farm.
Right. The African-American family owned the farm,
and it was apples. Their product was apples. They had an apple vineyard.
And I love the fact that the money was right, but the spirit wasn't, so to speak. He, had never really wanted to sell his farm or anything like that. But when he got ready to even start considering it, not to say that he was going to sell it or wasn't going to sell it in his own words, but he wanted to, there was a certain thing that he was looking for past the money. And, we can look at society right now, Suzanne, and we can see many people, many businesses that have sold their businesses to other people, and then the business no longer even looks like what they had in mind when they first started. And that was important to him and to his wife. This is something they did together, and it was very important. I like the fact that, when things kind of shifted, he said, let me call my wife. Now, okay. I'm just going to say, sometimes we are in the midst of whatever we're doing, and we think that just because you've discussed it with your significant other at some other time, that you get to go ahead and make a decision without including them, but you shouldn't. You should do just like this gentleman did. He was reshifting his thought process, and since he was doing that, he felt the need to call his wife and have that discussion with her again. And so I really like that part as well, because when I tell
life
you, communication is key. What were you saying?
Life lesson, communication and share life. I mean, that was a major life decision. That's why we have spouses, to share in our major life decisions. And so that was 2 more life lessons. But here's what you skipped. You skipped, my friends, the fact that they had a romance. So this couple had their own romance.
Yes.
He was in the military and he was far away and he didn't even know her. They were pen pals. That's how they had become in a relationship. While he was away at war, they were writing each other. How cute and romantic is that? When he did get released and he was stationed back home, they met, they fell in love because he knew he couldn't live without her. Oh, so romantic.
and the point that when he said something about them being a couple, how they tried to deny it, he said, well, that's not what I saw. So that was kind of cute.
Right.
But yeah, just again, can I just tell you that sometimes we're out there perpetrating and all that, people see right through it. So don't
right
fight,
through it.
Honey. Just relinquish yourself to it, honey, and let love find you, just like
find me, love. I'm gonna write a
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you single people, go write your letter. Address it to love. So love will come find you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it.
So are we going to talk more about this movie, or are we just going to tell these people, go watch the movie?
I will say, go watch the movie. But on your way to go watch the movie, like, share, and subscribe to our All Things Hallmark channel. And let us know what you think after you watch the movie. Come on, I know we even got some haters out there. Can y'all go watch the movie and come back and tell us, some folks, Suzanne, They've had a bad experience with love, and so they're not, but go watch this movie. And can I tell you, just be transparent like this woman was. Write it out like Suzanne said, make it plain, put it in that bottle, cast it out there, and just believe that love is going to come find you. Now, let me just say that I don't even think she believed it. When she saw that person had found her letter, she was embarrassed. She was like, oh my goodness,
Right. Her auntie then again had to talk her into reading the email.
Yeah, just flow with it, And it was just so funny because now the girl, she better like delete the email, delete the thought, oh my God, But again, that auntie was right on point, and she was like, come on, it's not like, he's sitting here and you're sitting there type thing. Let's see where it goes. And so that's what we want to encourage you to go watch the movie. And if you see anything in there that triggers your desire to find real love, you might want to do what they did so you can get what they got. How about that?
Do something. Open your heart up. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. And write out. If you don't do anything else, I want to say, I dare you. I triple dare you. I challenge you right now.
I double dog dare you.
I challenge you to go write out what you really, really want. And then just wait, because it took them 3 months. It was 3 months later. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got 90 days.
Life, so it may take longer than that. But can I tell you that, you may not put your letter in a bottle, you may not throw it into the water, but be transparent on that piece of paper and own your truth and know what you're really looking for, because it's not that he doesn't like you or she doesn't like you. They just don't like that representative that just keeps showing up. So be your real authentic self and don't settle for someone that may be attracted to that masked person that you've been presenting. That's why you're not comfortable with them. That's why you don't really get along with them, because the real you is not showing up. So put the real you on this paper, of the real you of who you are and the real you of who you desire to share your life with. And just trust. Can I just say, and just trust that the real person that needs to be and desires to be connected to you will show up.
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I received that personally. I'm going to go write out everything I want. I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to follow my own directions.
That's right.
So I'm going to make a comment in our own blog. Well, thank you so much for coming back into our homes and watching and listening to us. And we want to do this again with you this coming Saturday. We'll watch another movie and we'll put it up next week. We really appreciate you. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Watch this movie and keep your hope alive. That's what I want to say. Keep hope alive.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're bouncing back from a divorce, you want to go out to living victoriously after divorce and prepare yourself to even write the letter. Go out there, join that community. Suzanne is always giving out healthy, did I say healthy? Yes. Healthy tidbits and nuggets to live by. And so again, that's living victoriously after divorce. You want to go out there and see what that's all about. And of course, you can always stop by and visit me at Activate Your Life Coaching. We definitely want to continue to pour into your life, not only on All Things Hallmark, but also in the things that we're doing off of this particular channel on other channels in our lives. And so definitely come out and visit Living Victoriously After Divorce and Activate Your Life Coaching.
Can I also say, listen, I have dealt with physical pain, surgeries. I've been injured. I've dealt with mental health, being happy. I just want to be transparent. And so I do motivational. I try because I know what it feels like. Yeah. So on those days that I'm feeling a certain type of way, the same words I'd want somebody to say to me, I try to say it to somebody else. So if you want to look at those YouTube videos, they are available as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for letting us come into your home. Have a wonderful week.
And we'll see you next time right here on All Things Hallmark.